All right, now I'm not giving up cheese, but this is a cheese sauce that has ingredients that's going to surprise you. So don't double dip, but this is fantastic. Let me show you. So we're going to turn all this into cheese sauce. Now I know you're not seeing a speck of cheese anywhere. So what are we doing? Have I betrayed the cheese world? No. I'm going to show you how to make a vegan cheese sauce. Now, I'm not vegan. I'm not claiming to be. And before you leave, stick with me because this stuff is amazing. And if you have friends who have alternative diets, you will never know the difference, okay? The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna peel all of our veggies. So potatoes and carrots are kind of the star of the show. So we're gonna use our pivoting peeler and we're just going to peel. That's it. Now after you have peeled and kind of cleaned up your mess, we're gonna dice up our potatoes. Now you don't even need to wash them because it doesn't matter. But you need, and you can adjust this. So I'm gonna do a double batch, okay? You need 2 cups of potato, basically 1 cup, but like I said, I'm doubling. So you do need to dice it enough so that you can get a guesstimate of how much you need. So since I'm doubling, I need 2 cups of potatoes. Now, I need 1/2 cup of carrots. So I do need to have an idea of how much 1 cup is. And I think I have more than that. You know, I'm pretty fast at chopping until you get to that right last part, and then self-preservation comes in with the fingers. So, all right. I think all of us can do this. And then we slow it down. Okay, so I have about a cup here. So we want 1 cup. Now we're gonna take an onion. We need 1/4 cup of an onion, so basically 1/2 cup. So here's our 1/4 cup. I might end up doing like a double batch because I want to have a lot of this cheese sauce. It actually will stay good in your fridge for 2 weeks, and it's made out of veggies, so I can put this on everything all week long and not feel an ounce of guilt. Make sure you add your water. We're gonna put this in the pressure cooker. Now you can do this on the stove, but we're gonna cook the veggies until they're really soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the pressure cooker for about 5 minutes at the highest pressure and get these really cooked. Now while our veggies are cooking, we're gonna assemble the other ingredients. So we have our salt. Now remember, I'm doing a double. So this right here is 2 tablespoons of salt, okay? And you can limit it, you know, do less if you want. We're gonna use a cup of nutritional yeast. Now nutritional yeast is something that I make my own bouillon. This has so many great uses. So do some research on that. It's fantastic, okay? And then we're going to add in some, garlic powder, okay? So really fine garlic powder. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of this. So I'm gonna add this in. I'm gonna use just a little bit more. Okay. Now, here's one of the differences or one of the other ingredients. You have an option. We're gonna use cashews. Now, if you don't have, I'm gonna show you in our blender, I don't have to soak these because it's a high-powered blender. If you don't have that, you're gonna wanna soak these for 30 minutes. Alternatively, you can use Great Northern beans if you don't want to use nuts, if you're trying to stay away from nuts or you have an allergy or something like that. Stay away from the crazy, okay? Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and add all of the cashews. And so, but you can use alternative, you can use the Great Northern beans. So now this, we're gonna also add in some paprika. We're just gonna add in a little couple pinches, and that gives us a flavor. It's actually, did you know paprika is roasted bell peppers? So you add a little bit of flavor, but also some color. And then we're gonna add in some lemon juice. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So cut your lemon in half, make sure it's at room temperature. You're gonna get a lot more juice out of it. And then we're just going to press it just like that. And look, it completely inverts it. So I'm just gonna use both of those lemons, or both halves. And now we continue waiting for our veggies. Okay, we have taken this out of the pressure cooker. So of course it's really hot. We want to keep some of that water. We don't want to get rid of it. So we're going to strain this just like that. And I have it just like that, okay? And I'm gonna do this in batches since I did a double-double. So we're going to add liquid first. We're gonna add a cup of our veggies, which as you can see are really soft. We're gonna add some of this. And I'm gonna add a little bit more based on my blender capability. All right. And we're gonna put this on custom blend. I don't have any chips open, but I have some pretzels. So let's do this. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Tell me that doesn't look like cheese, okay? It smells like cheese. So now, that's hot. Honestly, no one's gonna know. No one. All right, I'm gonna show you something else. Okay, so as you can see, I have packed this full. And so we're going to, in fact, I'm gonna add just a little bit more water. So it gets a little concerning, right? Well, you take this part off and you put this on. All right, here we go. That gives it just a little bit more wiggle room. I've had soups that when they're cooking, because this is a cooking blender, and it starts to boil. So this gives it a little bit more room, but we're not really needing it. It's actually not needing it. So close, but not. So no double dipping, and enjoy.